All right, buckle up, everybody, because we are diving deep today into Good Vibes, Good Life
Mhm.
by Vex King.
Oh, I love that book.
It's all about positive thinking and manifesting your goals and,
Yeah.
just kind of making life better.
And it's interesting you say manifesting because
Yeah,
King isn't just some, think happy thoughts kind of guy.
right.
He's a mind coach and like a lifestyle entrepreneur.
Yeah,
So he has this really grounded, practical approach to self-improvement, which I think is really cool.
I agree. That's what really intrigued me about the book.
Yeah,
It's not all just fluffy affirmations.
exactly.
It's about actionable steps,
Totally.
which is perfect for our, deep dive style.
Yeah.
But before we get into like doing anything,
Yeah.
there's this core idea that King keeps coming back to this
Kinda-
law of vibration.
Right. Yeah. And this is where it gets a little bit woo-woo, but stick with us
Okay.
because it's actually surprisingly relatable.
Yeah.
So basically, the law of vibration says that everything in the universe, including us, is energy vibrating at different frequencies.
Okay.
And get this, like, attracts, like, energetically.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking of my Wi-Fi router right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's sending out all these invisible signals,
Okay.
and my laptop picks them up because they're on the same frequency.
Gotcha.
Is that kind of what we're talking about here?
Yeah, like I get that. But instead of Wi-Fi signals,
Yeah.
it's our thoughts and our feelings.
Exactly.
Even our actions are sending out vibes.
Exactly.
So high positive vibes attract good things, experiences, opportunities.
Right.
Low negative vibes, well,
You get the picture.
yeah. So if I'm feeling super stressed and anxious,
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually putting out a frequency that's going to attract more stress.
That's what the law of vibration says.
Okay, that's kind of scary, but it also makes sense in a weird way.
It is kind of scary, right? And think about it this way.
Yeah.
When you're in a good mood,
Mm.
don't things just seem to flow better?
Totally.
Like you bump into a friend or that work project doesn't seem so daunting anymore.
Yeah.
King would say those are your good vibes at work, attracting more goodness.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this works.
Yeah.
But isn't there a danger of like falling into that toxic positivity thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just slapping a smile on and pretending everything's perfect even when it's not.
That's a really great question, and thankfully King addresses that head on.
Okay, good.
Good vibes only is not about ignoring problems or pretending life is a rainbow-filled unicorn party.
So it's not about being fake happy all the time.
No, it's about consciously choosing to align with what feels good,
Mm-hmm.
which, let's be honest, is usually what we want anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you're chasing a dream but it feels heavy and dreadful every step of the way,
Yeah.
maybe that's a sign that your vibes are a bit off.
Okay, so how do we actually raise our vibe? Does King give us like practical tips?
Oh, he absolutely does.
Okay, good, because that's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Actionable advice.
He gives really good advice.
Okay.
For example, did you know that even just faking a smile?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Like if I force myself to grin right now,
Mm-hmm.
something's going to change chemically. That sounds like some cheesy sitcom trick.
It might sound silly, but there's actually research to back it up.
No way.
Yeah, a 2003 study showed that smiling, even when you don't genuinely feel like it,
Mhm.
releases endorphins.
Oh, wow.
And those are your body's natural mood boosters.
Okay.
It's like a little happiness hack.
So I can use that anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, anytime, anywhere.
Okay, that one's going in my mental toolkit for sure.
My.
What else does he recommend?
Well, something that really resonated with me, especially in our, always on culture,
Yeah.
is King's emphasis on taking time out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
He even talks about the Spanish word engentado, which means feeling peopled out.
Engentado. Love
Yeah.
that word. I've definitely felt that way before.
Yeah.
Like I just need to recharge away from everyone.
Exactly. And King argues that it's not selfish at all.
Okay.
In fact, when you're constantly drained,
Yeah.
you're more likely to bring other people down too.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's kind of a perspective shift.
Yeah. So taking care of our own energy is actually a way of taking care of the people around us.
It is.
I like that.
And speaking of energy, King also highlights the importance of feeding our minds with inspiration.
Okay.
He says books, movies, even podcasts can raise your vibe,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you choose content that aligns with your goals and aspirations.
That's so interesting because I feel like we often think of those things as entertainment or leisure,
Right.
but he's saying they can actually be tools for like personal growth.
Exactly. Think about the last time a movie or book truly inspired you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Did it make you want to strive for something more, overcome challenges?
Totally.
That's the power of inspirational content.
Yeah.
It can literally shift your energy and outlook.
And let's not forget about the fuel we put into our bodies.
Right.
Does King talk about nutrition at all?
He does. He does. Okay. He even cites research suggesting that food has its own vibrational frequency.
Oh, wow, really?
Healthy food vibrates at a higher frequency,
Uh,
while processed or junk food vibrates at a lower frequency.
wow. So what we eat literally affects our energy on like a vibrational level. Makes you
Mhm.
think twice about that extra slice of pizza.
Right.
Okay.
And finally, something that King emphasizes that's become a bit of a buzzword lately,
Okay.
but he gives it real depth gratitude.
We hear so much about gratitude journals and practices these days.
We do.
What makes King's approach different?
He's not just about going through the motions of listing things you're thankful for.
Right.
He says it's about cultivating a genuine feeling of appreciation.
Okay.
It's about shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have and truly soaking in that feeling.
Yeah, I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck.
Yeah.
It's easy to just like say you're grateful,
Mm-hmm.
but to actually feel it in your heart, that's a whole other level.
He even tells this story about a coaching client who couldn't think of anything to be grateful for.
Oh, wow.
It took some digging, but they eventually found something as simple as owning a car
Okay.
to feel genuinely thankful for. And from there, the shift began.
It's a great reminder that even in the midst of challenges, there's always something to appreciate.
Right. It might not be glamorous,
Yeah,
but it's a starting point.
totally.
And that's what I love about King's approach. It's grounded, it's
Mhm.
relatable, and ultimately it's empowering.
I love that.
It's interesting how King doesn't shy away from like the difficult stuff.
Yeah.
He has a whole section in the book about dealing with toxic people.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too.
Right.
I thought it was going to be all rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah.
But he gets real about the fact that sometimes people bring you down.
He does. And he uses this really powerful analogy of toxic people being like poison to a plant.
Okay.
Just a little bit can like start to wilt the leaves and drain the life out of it.
That's a really good visual.
It's a good visual, and it makes you think about
Yeah.
who might be subtly or not so subtly draining your energy.
Yeah, that's a good point because we often focus on those like big, obvious sources of negativity.
Right.
But what about those smaller everyday interactions that might be like chipping away at our good vibes?
Exactly. And what's even more thought-provoking is that King acknowledges that we can be the toxic ones sometimes too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He shares a story about how his Instagram quotes were stolen, and it made him realize that even people who preach positivity aren't perfect.
Totally. We're all human.
It's like that saying, we're all just walking each other home.
I love that saying.
Even with the best intentions, we can mess up, hurt others, contribute to that negativity.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good reminder that we're all works in progress.
We are.
And self-awareness is key.
Self-awareness is so important. And speaking of awareness, I thought King's advice on dealing with difficult relationships was spot on.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Well, he has that daughter advice test, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
If you're struggling with how to handle a situation, ask yourself what advice you'd give your daughter if she were in the same position.
I like that because it forces you to step outside your own emotions
Yeah,
and think about what's truly best for the person you care about.
it does.
And sometimes that can bring more clarity than just like stewing in our own frustrations.
Absolutely. It's like that saying, we judge others by their actions, but ourselves by our intentions.
Oh, that's a good one.
The daughter advice test helps us apply that same grace and wisdom to our own relationships.
I love that. And it's not always easy, right?
It's not. It's not.
King is honest about how tough it can be to end relationships,
Yeah.
even when you know they're no longer serving you.
He even challenges this idea that family always comes first.
Yeah, that one was kind of radical.
Yeah, he says, and I'm paraphrasing here, but just because someone's family, it doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart.
It's powerful. It's a reminder that healthy boundaries are essential, even with those closest to us.
They are.
And sometimes, love means creating space for personal growth, even if it's uncomfortable.
It does. And another story that really resonated with me was King's experience with his flatmate.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that one.
He was going through a really tough time, and he wanted to be there for him,
Yeah.
but he realized he was getting drained in the process.
That's something so many people struggle with.
Oh, yeah.
You want to help, but you also recognize your own limits.
So what did King do?
He realized that it's okay to protect your own energy first.
Okay.
Like you can't pour from an empty cup. It's like putting on your own oxygen mask on a plane before helping others.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Because it highlights that self-care isn't selfish, it's essential.
Right.
And it ties back to the law of vibration, too.
Yeah.
If you're constantly surrounded by negativity and feeling depleted,
Yeah.
it's going to affect your own frequency and, in turn, what you attract into your life.
So taking care of ourselves is actually an act of raising our vibration,
It is.
which benefits everyone around us. It's like a ripple effect.
It is a ripple effect, for sure.
Okay.
Now, King also talks about how to handle negativity from people who just don't get you, the haters, so to speak.
Like haters, right.
He has this great line.
What is it?
He says, "You acquire haters by being somebody."
It's true. It's so true.
If you're not doing anything, not standing out in any way, you're not going to ruffle any feathers.
Right.
But the moment you start pursuing your dreams, putting yourself out there, you're bound to encounter some resistance.
That's when the haters come out.
Right. And he shares a story from his own childhood.
Oh, really?
About being mocked for not having a father.
Oh, wow.
It's relatable because we've all experienced negativity at some point.
Of course, yeah.
Whether it's bullying, criticism, or just plain meanness. It's part of life. But the important thing is not letting it define you.
Right.
King even quotes Gandhi saying, "Nobody can hurt me without my permission."
It's a good one.
It's a reminder that we have the power to choose how we react to negativity.
So we can either let it bring us down,
Right.
lower our vibration, and validate the hater's intentions,
Right.
or we can rise above it,
Yes.
maintain our good vibes, and choose to focus on what truly matters.
That's such a powerful shift in perspective.
It is. It's not about ignoring the negativity.
Right.
It's about choosing not to give it power over you.
Exactly. And this brings us to another really important point that King makes.
Okay.
The importance of self-love.
Yeah, self-love is so important.
He goes beyond the surface level stuff and asks a really thought-provoking question.
Ooh, I love thought-provoking questions. What is it?
Do you like yourself?
Wow, that's a good one.
It's so easy to get caught up in pleasing others, achieving goals, checking things off our to-do list, that we forget to check in with ourselves on a deeper level.
It's true. It's so true.
And King points out that comparison is the thief of joy.
It is.
Especially in the age of social media.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Where everyone is presenting this curated version of their lives.
It's so easy to fall into that trap of comparing ourselves to others.
Oh, yeah.
And feeling inadequate.
He even shares a personal story about feeling insecure about his clothes as a child.
Oh, wow. I can relate to that.
It's something we can all relate to. We've all felt that pang of comparison at some point, whether it's about our appearance, our achievements, or even our possessions.
It's true,
Yeah.
but King reminds us that true beauty comes from within.
It does.
It's about the kind of person you are, your character, your values, your kindness.
He even says, and I'm quoting here, "You can buy surgery, but you cannot purchase a new personality."
That is such a good quote.
It highlights that true self-worth comes from who we are at our core, not from external validation or material things.
Okay, so how do we cultivate that genuine self-love?
King talks about the importance of celebrating our achievements,
Okay.
no matter how small they may seem. He reminds us that we are constantly achieving things that we once only dreamed of.
It's true. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life.
It is.
That we forget to acknowledge our progress.
We're always striving for the next thing,
Yeah.
the next goal, without taking time to appreciate how far we've come.
Yeah, for sure.
King encourages us to pause, take a breath, and acknowledge our wins.
Love that.
Even those seemingly small victories
Yeah.
can release dopamine,
Oh, right.
which boosts our mood and motivates us to keep going.
So it's like giving ourselves a little pat on the back and
It
saying, hey,
is.
good job. You're doing great.
And he's not afraid to call out societal norms that hold us back.
Oh, I love when he does that.
He talks about how we're conditioned to follow the crowd,
Yeah.
even if it's not the right path for us.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in that.
It is, and he even lists all those labels people
Yeah.
might throw at you when you dare to be different.
How do they?
Fake, loner, lost, geek, ugly, dumb, crazy, cheap, disloyal.
Oh, man, those are rough.
It's a reminder that sometimes the very things that make us unique
Yeah,
are the things society tries to shame us for.
it's true.
But King's message is clear.
What is it?
Don't let those labels define you.
Love it.
Embrace your individuality,
Mhm.
your quirks, your passions.
The things that make you you.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about taking care of our energy,
Mm-hmm.
setting boundaries,
Right.
cultivating self-love.
Mm-hmm.
How does all of this tie into actually manifesting our goals?
Okay, well, one of the most powerful sections of the book is about the power of belief.
Okay.
King says, and I'm paraphrasing here, that if you don't believe in something,
Mm-hmm.
you'll rarely see it in your life.
It's like that saying, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Exactly.
Our beliefs shape our reality.
He talks about the importance of positive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but he's clear that it's not just about wishful thinking.
Right.
It's about choosing thoughts and actions that empower you
Okay.
rather than limit you.
So it's about shifting your mindset from,
Yes.
I can't do this,
Yeah.
to, I'm capable of achieving anything I set my mind to.
Exactly. He uses a great analogy of a cricket batsman
Okay.
who needs to hit a six to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
If he believes he can do it,
Yeah.
he's more likely to succeed.
Right.
But if he's filled with doubt,
Yeah.
he's already lost.
It's like that quote from Henry Ford.
Yes.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. Our beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies.
And King backs this up with his own experiences.
He does.
He talks about how he overcame a limiting belief that he couldn't change his future.
Right.
What was a turning point for him?
He realized that this belief was based on what he'd been told by others, not on his own experiences.
Okay.
He started studying people who had achieved great things and realized their beliefs were different.
How so?
They believed in possibility, not impossibility.
So it's like we're all given these scripts from society,
Yes.
our families,
Hmm?
even our own past experiences.
Right.
And sometimes those scripts limit us
They do.
without us even realizing it.
But King's message is that we have the power to rewrite those scripts.
Ooh, I love that.
We can choose to believe in ourselves, in our dreams, and in our ability to create the life we desire.
That's so empowering. It's about taking ownership of our beliefs.
It is.
And choosing ones that serve us,
Exactly.
not hold us back.
And King also talks about going beyond just thoughts,
Okay.
recognizing that our thoughts aren't always accurate reflections of reality.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in our own heads.
It is.
But sometimes our thoughts can distort reality and lead us down the wrong path.
He shares a story from his childhood about growing up in a racist neighborhood and how he learned to overcome his anger and see things from a different perspective.
It's a good reminder that we have the power to choose how we perceive
We do.
and respond to events, even those that are painful or challenging.
And he emphasizes that our brains are wired to make things easy for us,
Right.
often relying on past experiences to make decisions in the present.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes those shortcuts can lead to limiting beliefs and self-sabotage.
So it's important to become aware of our thoughts,
Yes.
question them, and choose thoughts that empower us rather than limit us.
He even encourages us to change our perception of challenging situations.
Oh, okay. How do we do that?
He says, if you can't change a situation, change your perception of it. That's where your personal power is.
That's such a good point. We can't always control what happens to us,
We can't.
but we can control how we react.
Exactly. And this is where King's emphasis on mindfulness comes in. He talks about the importance of being present in the moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
Easier said than done sometimes.
It is, but he even provides a guided meditation in the book,
Oh, cool.
which is a great way to practice.
Yeah.
Bringing your attention to the present moment and quieting that mental chatter.
I love guided meditations.
He also talks about the importance of actively changing your beliefs,
Okay.
and he gives a step-by-step process for doing so.
Okay, I'm all about actionable steps, so let's hear it.
All right, so the first step is to identify the beliefs you want to change.
Okay.
You need to get clear about those limiting thoughts that are holding you back.
So it's about becoming aware of those negative self-talk patterns.
Yes.
Those I can't or I'm not good enough
Exactly.
thoughts that sabotage our efforts.
Once you've identified those beliefs, the next step is to challenge them,
Okay.
to question their validity. King realized many of his limiting beliefs were based on what he had been told by others, not on his own experiences.
Yeah, it's like we inherit these beliefs from our upbringing, our culture, even our own past experiences.
We do.
And we often accept them as truth
We do.
without questioning whether they actually serve us.
Right. So the third step is to find evidence to support the new beliefs you want to adopt.
Okay.
King found evidence for his new belief.
Mm-hmm.
I can change my future and achieve great things
Mm-hmm.
by studying people who had overcome adversity and achieved success. So it's about surrounding yourself with inspiration,
It is.
with examples of people who've done what you want to do.
Yes.
It's about shifting your focus from what's possible to what's already been achieved.
Exactly. And finally, you need to repeat your new beliefs
Okay.
to reinforce them
Mm-hmm.
until they become your new truth.
Okay.
King emphasizes that this process takes time and effort,
Of course.
but it's worth it
Yeah.
because our beliefs shape our reality.
So it's about creating new neural pathways in our brains.
It is rewiring those old patterns of thinking and replacing them with more empowering beliefs.
He also talks about the importance of writing down your goals,
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's a good one.
something that a lot of successful people do.
Mm-hmm. There's power in putting pen to paper,
There is.
making those dreams tangible and concrete.
He shares a story about Colin Kaepernick,
Go ahead.
the professional American football quarterback,
Yeah.
who wrote a letter to himself in 4th grade
Wow.
predicting his future success in football. And guess what? It came true.
That's amazing. It's like he planted that seed of belief in himself at a young age,
He did.
and it grew into reality.
King emphasizes the importance of being specific when writing down your goals.
Okay.
The more detail you can provide, the better.
So don't be afraid to dream big.
Don't be afraid to dream big. It's about creating a vivid picture in your mind
Yeah.
of what you want to achieve and then taking those steps to make it happen.
Love that.
He also talks about the power of visualization,
Okay, visualization. Yeah, I've heard of that.
which is basically the process of creating an experience in your mind before you have it in your life.
Mm.
King says our brains can't tell the difference
Wow.
between what is imagined and what is real.
So if we can vividly imagine ourselves achieving our goals,
Yes,
our brain starts to believe it's possible,
right.
which makes it more likely to happen in reality.
Exactly. King encourages us to engage all our senses when visualizing our goals.
Okay.
Don't just see it,
Yeah.
feel it, hear it, smell it, taste it.
Wow, make it as real as possible.
Make it as real as possible in your mind.
Okay, I like that.
It's like creating a mental movie of your desired outcome,
Mm-hmm.
experiencing it fully in your imagination.
Yeah.
The more real it feels,
Yeah.
the more likely you are to attract it into your life.
And he also talks about the importance of setting intentions,
He does.
which is basically deciding what you want to create in your life.
Right. But he emphasizes that intention without action is just a wish.
You got to take action. You got to put those intentions into motion
Yeah.
to make things happen.
King provides a ton of practical advice for taking action.
Okay, good.
And he emphasizes stepping out of your comfort zone.
That's where the magic happens, right?
That's where the magic happens.
When we challenge ourselves, push our boundaries, and take those risks that scare us a little.
He reminds us that growth takes place when we are challenged,
Right.
not when we are comfortable.
Makes sense.
And he encourages us to face our fears
Okay.
because that's where our greatest potential lies.
It's like that saying, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
He also talks about the importance of consistency.
Oh, consistency. Yeah. Something that a lot of us struggle with.
So many of us struggle with that.
It's easy to get started on something,
It is.
but it's much harder to keep going when things get tough.
Consistency is key, but it's also one of the most challenging aspects of achieving any goal.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
King reminds us that consistency is key to achieving our goals.
Mm-hmm.
He uses the example of David Beckham, who became a master of free kicks through consistent practice.
So it's about showing up day after day, even when we don't feel like it,
It is.
and putting in the work.
And he talks about the importance of overcoming procrastination.
Procrastination, the thief of time.
A killer of dreams.
Procrastination is a sneaky beast.
It is.
It could disguise itself as busyness, perfectionism,
Right.
or even fear.
He provides a list of common procrastination behaviors
Okay.
and encourages us to be honest with ourselves about whether we're guilty of any of them.
It's about identifying those patterns that keep us stuck
Yes.
and finding ways to break free from the procrastination cycle.
He shares a story about a mentoring client
Okay.
who procrastinated for months
Yeah.
before finally taking action on his business idea.
Yeah.
And once he did,
Yeah.
he was successful.
It's a great reminder that sometimes we just need to take that first step,
We do.
even if it's scary.
Yeah.
We often overthink things and let our fears paralyze us.
King also talks about the importance of breaking down big goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Right.
This can make the process feel less overwhelming
Yeah.
and help us to stay motivated.
So it's about creating a roadmap for success,
Yes.
a step-by-step plan that feels achievable and exciting.
He even talks about the science behind motivation,
Oh.
explaining that dopamine, one of our feel-good hormones, is released when we achieve goals.
So the more we achieve,
Yes.
even small things,
Yeah.
the more motivated we'll feel to keep going.
It's like creating a positive feedback loop of success.
I love that.
King also warns against the dangers of the quick fix mentality.
Oh, the quick fix, yes.
That's so prevalent in our society.
It is. We want everything now,
We do.
and we're not willing to put in the time and effort required
Right.
to achieve lasting success.
He encourages us to practice patience,
Patience, yes.
to trust the process, and to remember that growth takes time.
It's about shifting our focus from instant gratification
Yes.
to long-term fulfillment.
He also talks about the importance of swapping short-term pleasures
Right.
for long-term gains. It's easy to get caught up in the moment,
It is.
but we need to be mindful of how our choices are affecting our future.
It's about making conscious choices that align with our values and our goals, even if it means delaying gratification.
He encourages us to ask ourselves, are we using our time to make our lives greater?
That's a good one. That's such a powerful question.
It really makes you think about how you're spending your precious time and energy.
Yeah, for sure.
King also talks about the importance of having faith,
Oh.
even when things get tough.
Mm-hmm.
He says that fear is a mechanism that helps us to avoid physical harm,
Okay.
but we often use it to stay comfortable,
Right.
to avoid challenges.
Yeah, fear can be paralyzing,
It can.
but it can also be a sign that we're on the right track,
It can.
that we're stretching ourselves and growing.
He encourages us to let go of fear and trust that the universe is supporting us.
Ooh, that's such a powerful message.
It is.
It's a reminder that we're not alone on this journey.
Or not.
We have a support system, whether it's our friends, family, or even a higher power.
And it all ties back to the law of vibration. When we're filled with faith and positivity,
Yeah.
we attract positive experiences into our lives.
So it's a choice we make every day.
It is.
Do we choose fear or do we choose faith?
And King reminds us that we have the power to choose. Wow, we covered a lot of ground today.
I know, right? From the law of vibration to the power of belief,
Yeah.
Vex King really packs a punch in Good Vibes, Good Life.
He does. And what I really appreciate is
Yeah.
that he doesn't just leave us with like a bunch of abstract concepts.
Right. Except
He gives us actionable tools and techniques
yeah.
to actually apply these ideas to our lives.
Right. It's not just about thinking positively.
Exactly.
It's about doing the things that raise our vibration, cultivating self-love,
Yeah.
and ultimately manifesting the life we desire.
Exactly. And that brings us to our final so what for you, dear listener.
Okay, hit me with it.
If even one thing from this deep dive resonated with you,
Yeah.
what's one small action you can take today
Mm-hmm.
to raise your vibe or move towards a goal?
It doesn't have to be anything huge.
Nope.
Maybe it's finally starting that gratitude journal you've been putting off.
Oh, yeah.
Or taking 5 minutes to just visualize yourself achieving a dream.
Or maybe it's something as simple as smiling at a stranger or choosing a healthy meal instead of that tempting junk food.
Yeah, those little things.
It's those small, consistent actions
Yeah.
that create big shifts over time.
It's like King says, change the way you think, feel, speak, and act, and you begin to change your world.
That's so true.
It's so powerful.
We have so much more power than we realize
Yeah.
to shape our own reality.
It all starts with those little choices that we make each and every day.
Yeah. Now, one thing King talks a lot about is the power of belief.
Right.
He says, and I'm paraphrasing here, your mentality forms your reality.
That's a pretty big statement.
It is a big statement.
So we want to leave you with this thought-provoking question.
All right, what is it?
What's one limiting belief that you're ready to challenge?
What's that little voice inside your head that
Oh.
says, you can't do this, or you're not good enough? Is it really true?
Right, exactly.
Or is it just an old story you've been telling yourself, a belief that's been holding you back
Yeah.
without you even realizing it?
Once you identify that limiting belief,
Yeah,
you can start to dismantle it
you can.
to find evidence that supports a more empowering belief.
Maybe it's looking for examples of people who've achieved what you desire,
Yeah.
or simply reminding yourself of all the amazing things you've already accomplished in your life.
Yeah, for sure.
And that, dear listener, is where true transformation begins. by challenging those old limiting beliefs and replacing them with thoughts that uplift and empower you.
So keep those good vibes flowing.
Yes.
Keep learning, keep growing,
Mm,
and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. You got this.